give you guys a countdown here.
Fuck you, David.
Countdown.
So, you guys know how I was talking about last week how some AMC theaters were going to play what's it called? What's that shit called? Endgame. But they're gonna play it. Remember,
What's
I told
that
you they were
shit
gonna
called?
play it.
What's that shit called?
I told you they were gonna play it 24 hours a day. Remember that?
So that was a fucking lie.
No, they are. They did.
Where?
The thing is,
where?
I said at select AMC theaters, David. You son of a bitch.
I thought I'll read that. Maybe the block would have it. I looked up, and the latest showing they had was like at 1:15 a.m.
That's still pretty late considering the block, though.
That is.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So, son of a bitch.
What'd you do, dude?
Nothing.
We're having technical difficulties already. Oh shit! Yeah.
There's I did it completely different, and there's still an echo. I don't understand.
Fucking why?
Yeah, dude. Like,
I don't even get it.
my fan. You guys can't hear my fan. Okay, so the echo's not on my part. It's on you guys. So.
So anyway, Ricky was reading an article, right?
She reads?
Yeah, sometimes. And it said that there was she said the movie theater in Vegas, the drive-in, she said that it was playing 24 hours. And I was like, that's fucking impossible.
That's
a drive-in movie.
impossible.
Yeah.
A drive-in movie theater can't play 24 hours.
Doesn't make any
Hold on. So she was like, well, it says here from dusk until dawn. And I was like, that's just nighttime.
Oh, shit.
That's like 3 showings.
Fucking David. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 14 of the Speakeasy Gentlemen. If you haven't seen the show before, what we do is drink and talk like we would at a bar, but we're all so far away, so we do it right here. My name's Josh. I'm in Spokane, Washington. My buddy George down there is in Laguna, California. David is in Santa Ana, California.
You're going to say Vegas, weren't you?
Our guest today, Scarfo, Mr. Chris Scarfo, is in Canada. Where at in Canada? I forgot.
Just north of Montreal.
North of Montreal.
Sweet.
So, Scarfo is a fellow podcaster. He runs a show called The Scarfo Show. Easy to remember. His name's right there. You can see it. So tell us a little bit about your show.
So essentially, the show, The Scarfo Show, is about me having guests on every week to teach me via conversation about shit that I'm passionate about. So that's like music, health and fitness, writing, entrepreneurship, parenting, DIY stuff, arts, sports, you name it. Very non-niche. But essentially I have on guests that have experience in those fields. I pick their brains, everybody learns, and it's a good time.
That's badass. That's
I feel like we're not educational at all.
We
show is like
learn anything.
He's like the fucking Mr. Rogers. Yeah, he's like the Mr. Rogers, and we're like just a fucking drunk people.
Hello, neighbor.
Damn.
But at least you guys drink, though.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
You don't drink
on his show, apparently.
While you're learning stuff.
I've had a couple drinks pre-recording, but never there. Yeah.
I think that'd be better because you're trying to learn a new skill, so you should have them try to teach you while you're just fucking hammered.
Well, that's what you got to do. That's the trick. Is when you're learning stuff, you got to be drunk because it kills the brain cells and the survival of the fittest. So your slower brain cells die, but the ones that are still
only the ones that matter.
Yeah, only the ones that matter will actually remember. And then when you kind of forget, you always have that drunk memory to fall back on. Like, man, I don't remember. But if I get drunk again, that memory will come back.
That's right. They've done a couple of studies with smell, with sound, And now we're going to say, because we're all doctors here, that if you get drunk and you learn something, get drunk again and you remember it. It's cool. I'm sold.
Yeah,
Yep.
I saw it on
So is that drunken memory? That's like a real thing.
Yeah.
it was on Beer Fest.
I know they had it in beer. But
That's right.
That
That's
doesn't
right.
make it real.
No, I know.
You
I
guys
was
never
saying-
get drunk, apparently.
Dude, you know I get drunk.
Well, you guys don't remember shit. You guys' brain cells suck.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, the day after is always hard, but the next time I'm drunk, maybe I remember.
I need to
Yeah,
stop
see-
getting drunk.
No, you got to, like, the way I do it, too, is, like, I think about it, Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead. He's like, when we used to do acid, he's all, in order for you to trip, like, you would take your dose, whatever, like, take 2. He's all, but they found, like, supposedly you couldn't trip 2 times in a row, like 2 days in a row, but they found out if you up the dose, you would trip. So I kind of think about that with drinking, like, okay, I got really shit-faced yesterday. In order for me to get drunk, I have to drink that same amount and then some in order to get drunk again.
Yeah.
That's a good
All right.
call. So, David, Inez says, David, you don't need to lose any more brain cells.
Fuck you.
Straight calling you out.
David, I think that's kind of an Easter egg now, by the way. You talking about acid. You talk about it every fucking episode.
Because it's good for you.
So,
Well, that's
anyway,
what-
on tonight's show, we have some news to talk about. Reboots, remakes, and sequels. We're going to tell you guys what TV show, cartoon, and movie we'd want to reboot. Dumb things and stupid people. We got some things to talk about there. Chris also has some plugs to talk about his show and his projects coming up. We have maybe a game if we have time today in Florida, and of course Speakeasy memes, which is something we do every single week. But first, let's talk to Chris for a second. I need to see. I told you I was going to do it. It says Scarfo right on.
Read the goddamn thing.
And I'm still calling you Chris.
It's all good, though. My name is Chris, though, so you don't have
Yeah,
to feel
that's
that
true.
bad.
So I'm
But
going to put
Scarfo sounds
60
cool.
Scarfo. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and I'm going to ask you rapid fire questions to get to know you. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. All right. What was your nickname growing up?
Scarfo.
Shit. You idiot, Jose. You could have answer that.
What did
Right
you want to
there.
be as a kid?
Musician.
Did you do it?
I am a musician, sort of.
Nice. One superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Flying. Speaking of music, favorite band of all time?
Fuck. Blink-182?
That's a good fucking band. All right. If you and that creepy guy underneath you were the last 2 people on Earth, what's the first thing you'd do?
Acid.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
I finally have someone on the show who's going to be
I
cool
think
with
that's
me.
the best answer that
There
we
we
could
go.
have got. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
We'll say Home by Michael Bublé.
Nice.
I don't think I heard that
know
song.
that song.
Yeah.
Pineapples on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Have you ever internet dated?
Yes.
Oh, that's our time. All right, and that was a minute with Scarfo. So, Home, how's that song go?
Shit, I don't know, you put me on the spot. So Michael starts with...
I know who Michael
starts with,
Bublé is. He
with
does like...
acoustic guitar.
Is it an original by him?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
then I don't know it. I only know his covers.
Yeah.
Right on. He's a good carooner.
Is that a Canadian word?
Yeah, I was like, what's a carooner?
What the hell?
Like Frank Sinatra was a crooner.
Oh, a crooner. Oh,
Yeah,
I heard carooner.
I heard
I think
Karuna
I said
also.
crooner.
yeah. But you meant crooner. Why are we so fucking stupid? We can't figure out that by crooner he meant crooner.
There was a lag. I don't know, man. It just, something happened.
Yeah, you can blame the lag all you want, you fucker. All right, so I have something fucking crazy to talk to you guys about.
Oh, that's so crazy.
About something crazy. I think you should do your toasts.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, good job, George. I know your name.
I know.
I swear, dude, I've been working
It's right there.
all-
It's Scarfo.
I've been
How
working
much
all
did you
day, man.
drink?
I seriously haven't even really drank.
Yeah. You're
All right, so Scarfo, you have a cheers you do with friends, right? There's something you were talking about pre-show.
Yeah, so essentially it's a game that a couple people might know. Before I called it Moose, but David corrected me and said, or was it George who said Buffalo? So if you're right-handed,
Yeah.
if you're right-handed and you have the drink in your right hand, a friend of yours who needs to be a really good friend in order to do this, calls Buffalo, and then you got to finish the drink in one go.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Or
I'm gonna make sure I'm holding this one.
was it if let's say
I don't have unlimited alcohol here.
you see a friend, right, and they have their hand in the dominant drink, whatever drink they have behind their back, and you call Buffalo, they could pull out the drink that's behind their back and be like, you got to drink this one now.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I've heard
even
that rule.
sneakier.
That's
I
a yes
love
rule.
I was like, man, I just want a drink, guys. Can you not kill me?
that. Right? It's
Damn.
It's like fucking clear. You gotta
It's
drink
like-
it now.
I'm like, fucking, it's, well, I don't know. Most of the time I'm smoking and I'm drinking, so I don't know. I don't know what hand I usually hold my drink with. Oh, well.
Mm.
All right. Anyway, so I guess that's not really a cheers unless we're all gonna chug our drinks.
You want to?
But you want to chug our drinks? I got a
I
beer.
only
I
got half.
No, I'll drink the rest of mine though.
I just made this.
I just made this, too, so.
We doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Fuck it, cheers.
Oh god, I was just drinking like the rest
Let's do it.
of
Let's
my
do it.
beer.
Ready, David?
Scarfo just chugged that. He scarfed it down, huh? Uh-huh. Scarfed it
Brought
down.
to you by Oakart.
David, nothing?
Oh, I was going to
Alright.
use that one earlier. I had it saved in my head. I was like, I got to use scarfed it down, but then you took it. I'm like, oh, motherfucker. So.
Damn it.
He's all great. Now I gotta
Fucking
go do
bastards.
this.
No.
All right, so you guys may be wondering what we're drinking since I'm doing the show completely out of sequence.
It's our first show, guys. Thank you for coming.
we're drinking 7 and 7. Actually, I think I'm the only person who has 7 and 7, right?
Oddly
Yeah.
enough, yeah.
You are.
I got
Done.
close-ish. I'm drinking
That's
Oakart
pretty
in
close.
7.
That's pretty close. David and I are on the opposite end, I guess.
So, yeah, David, why don't you tell us how fucking brilliant you are?
How
Smartest guy.
stupid I am.
Smartest guy on the show. Self-appointed smartest guy that we have here.
I forgot, and I thought Seagram 7 was the name of the fucking the company that makes it. I didn't know Seagram's was just the name, so I was like, okay, Seagram 7, okay, they have it there. And then I looked everywhere else, I'm like, oh, that's gin, that's vodka, that's the one I need. I didn't think that, what, so, how is it, Josh? How is whiskey and the 7-Up go? How does it
It's
go?
good.
Yeah?
It's good, dude. Oh yeah, yeah. It's real smooth.
I'm
It's
actually
kinda like-
surprised, yeah.
It's like a fucking Di Serono, dude.
I don't
what it
give-
I
is.
love these around.
Seagram's,
Yeah.
I don't give
Yeah.
Seagram's enough credit, actually. I don't think I've really remembered.
Yeah, we had 7 and 7 last time we hung out with Josh in Vegas.
Yeah, David, you've had it.
How
a
long
bunch
ago
You've
was
had
that, dude?
David. You've had 7. I think you're the one who introduced me to 7 and 7.
You know what you need to do is, what was it, Jack Daniels and pineapple juice.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Remember the Justice for Trayvon? Remember that drink?
That was a weird, nasty-looking
I
drink,
don't remember.
dude.
I don't remember what it was, but that shit was good.
Okay, it was Fireball. There was
I don't
Napster.
remember half of those nights.
Yeah.
I remember the first half, and then after that, it's like,
Andrew
Do
and
you
I got
remember
there.
them?
Andrew and
Do
I
you
got
remember
there.
them when you get drunk?
Oh yeah. Hey,
No,
did
Yeah.
you get drunk again and then remember him?
Yeah.
I can
Like
try.
that time you guys almost got us kicked out of the Gogol concert? Fucking drunk bastards.
Me.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, speaking of not remembering things, there was a mom.
Who forgot her child?
There was
Yes.
a mom who woke up after a 27-year coma.
show, shit.
20 fucking 7 years.
Dude,
Do you,
that
do you
was,
even,
that was a
do
bad
you
time
even
to wake
keep
up.
somebody awake that long? I mean, alive? Not awake.
I don't know.
That's fucking crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So the mom
you think after year
was
10, they're like, nah, pull the plug.
Yeah.
right. So she was
They forgot
injured
about it.
in a car accident. She was driving her son Omar to school in United Arab Emirates. That's where they lived. She was driving him to school, and they got in a car accident in 1991.
Damn. Dude.
Yes, she was 32, and he was 4 years old at the time.
Oh,
So, quick maths. How old is the guy now?
33?
31.
30.
if he was
yeah.
4, and it
Yeah,
was
you're right. You're right.
27
31.
years.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. So he escaped with minor bruising, but she was she got a brain injury. She was in a coma. So she went to the United Arab Emirates for hospitals for treatment. She went to UK. She went to Germany for treatment, and they were saying that she was never going to wake up, but they still
Wait,
kept her on
hold
fucking
on.
life support.
So she was in a coma and traveled the fucking world and didn't even
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, basically. So
Hey, here's you passed out.
Pictures of her while she was in
Take her sightseeing,
Like,
but her
just
life
like in the bed,
that's fucked up. You guys are fucked up.
like a weekend at Bernie's. Like,
missing you. Like,
You guys are fucked up. I should have warned you, Scarfo, that if you're worried about your branding, probably don't hang out with these guys.
yeah.
So she started making noise one day, and then three days later, like she started making like minor noises, and then Omar, her son, was like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, and the doctor's like, "No, nothing. It's normal, whatever." But she woke up, or he woke up to the sound of someone calling his name, like screaming Omar, and it was her.
What
After
the
20
fuck?
fucking 7. The last thing she remembered was screaming Omar right before an accident.
oh,
And 27
shit.
years later, dude.
Holy shit!
Can you imagine that?
Easy.
So
She
for a
woke
second
up.
though, imagine waking up after that. Think about it. What we're doing right now is not fucking possible in 1991. They had fucking terrible dial-up internet.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny though. If you think about being in a coma for 27 years, and the first thing that she does waking up is revisit her last
Yeah.
last event. So what does that mean about a coma?
I don't
What
know,
happens
Yeah.
when you're in a coma?
That's like
fucking
the
crazy.
Conscious, like that last bit of awareness
Yeah.
of that person experience.
crazy.
It's still,
Hey, that's got to make people feel shitty though. Like after they see this, if they pulled the plug like at 10 years, right? Or at 20
Yeah.
years, they're like, it's been 20 fucking years, man. And
Right,
then
she's
like,
not coming up.
right? Fuck.
And then that
But I
happens.
wonder,
you're like,
like
fuck,
who
we
was
can
keeping
wait.
her alive? That has to cost money, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's
it
gotta
costs a lot
cost
of money.
fucking
Mind
millions.
you, I don't know in the United Emirates what their healthcare system's like.
Well,
Yeah, I don't even
mean
know.
they're fucking rich over there, dude.
Oh, fuck
They got
you.
Dubai and all that stuff. They probably
Yeah.
they're making bank. But
Like,
so what?
In Canada,
What's
we
the
could
first
probably
thing you would
keep
tell her?
people alive, like for
Oh
free. 'cause
yeah,
health-
you have better healthcare. This guy, better
Yeah.
healthcare than we do.
so I can keep my wife alive for free.
Sort of. It's kind of.
I was about to put her in a coma just to see how I could do it.
It's kind of better because it's free, but we have fucking long ass wait times. Like if you go to the emergency room, unless you're fucking dying, which okay, I kind of agree. Unless you're dying, don't go to the emergency room. But like there's people that have like open wounds, broken bones, and they like wait like 24 hours unless you pay for private, right? So
Dude, it's like grass is always greener, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Like
right.
over there, you're like, fuck free healthcare.
They're like, hey there, friend, are you in line waiting? Yeah. Are you bleeding a lot? No. Oh, go right
I
ahead.
dislocated my shoulder, and then I had to wait 4 hours at the emergency room. I mean, it's not too bad, but
right, yeah.
Really?
I mean,
Why didn't you just have somebody snap that shit back in?
I had,
I worked at a lube shop. Well, you guys know that I worked at a bunch of auto shops. A lube shop. Well, there was this guy who he started up the car and he was going to wipe off the oil filter from down below,
yeah.
and then the fan went toop, 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 and fucking dislocated his thumb.
Oh.
Right.
Oh shit.
So he went up to my buddy and he was like, "Dude, look at this. His thumb was all just hanging. It looked terrible." And he was like, "Don't worry, I'll snap it back in." So he's holding it and he was like, "You know how to do this, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then he looked over at me. He was like, he just fucking did it. Just
Oh, no.
snap that. Yeah. He's like, "Of course I know how."
Sounds like
I
something.
always wanted to do this.
Yeah, right. Just feel-
So after 27 years, what do you think is the first thing you show her? She gets to experience all this stuff with the film.
That's interesting, right?
She gets to experience all of this though, like all of it. Who was president back then? Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Was it Clinton?
In the 90s, yeah.
Dude, she maybe saw the first season of The Simpsons.
Oh shit, dude.
Well, Simpsons started in what, 88?
Yeah.
Late 80. It's credited as
88, 89.
Yeah,
Yeah.
88, 89. So yeah, she was a couple seasons in.
Well,
Damn.
probably not in the United Arab Emirates. But
Yeah, probably not there.
Yeah.
She probably saw the pilot.
That's fucking crazy though, dude.
just to loop around for Canadian healthcare, I have like a family doctor that if I call in the morning, I could see him that day. So that's cool, but not everyone has a family doctor. So
Damn.
that's just a little loop around. So like healthcare is kind of better if you're lucky to have a family doctor, you can get in. But if you got to sit in the ER because you don't, then we're kind of fucked.
How often do you go to the doctors? Because I don't think I've gone to the doctors for like 12 years.
Actually,
I went
often.
once.
I try to stay healthy.
Yeah, Josh, don't you like a hypochondriac? Don't you like go to the doctor every fucking 12 days?
Wait,
Something wrong with me.
what's it called, David? What's it called?
Hypochondriac, isn't it? Is that what they're called?
Hypro?
Hypochondriac.
Hyper.
Hell, Hydra.
Hydrochondria.
Hydro.
Aren't you like
Hydro-
mitochondria or something like that? I've gone to the doctor once in the last like 10 years. It was because I fucked my neck up. I was seriously walking around like this. Like I couldn't straighten my neck out. It was bad.
We should have put you in a coma.
You should have. Fuck, dude. So she basically time traveled into the future, though. Think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Except for her body aging and having bed sores and shit. But aside from that, I mean, time travel
Who knows,
into the future.
She probably aged slower because she didn't have a ton of toxins and all that stuff.
That's true. She's not drinking like we are, huh?
Yeah,
Cheers to
that's
that
right.
lady, huh?
Cheers.
So, crazy thing that I saw, there was like this kid who fell into a lake and he ended up surviving. It was a frozen lake.
Is he Jason?
He ended up surviving because the extreme cold, I guess, helps your brain cells. Like it helps. I don't
freezes them.
Yeah, dude. And it like that's what helped him survive. So I was thinking like maybe fucking Walt Disney is gonna get unfrozen pretty soon.
Well, he would be turning in his cryogenically frozen tube if he saw what's going on with Disney now.
Would he?
What? They're running a monopoly, dude. That's exactly what he'd like. It would just have
It'd
like,
probably be like just as planned.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, only unless you mean the fact that there's a lot of Jews in Disney.
that's what I was meaning. Like, he's like, who are these Jews taking over my company?
He's like,
Get out.
Like Family Guy.
Rosenbaum. Did you just say
Family
Rosenbaum?
Guy. The Jews take nope,
Yeah, the Jews put me back in. Oh man, yeah.
dude.
He's like, are the Nazis back yet?
So I have something pretty cool to show you guys. Check this out. You guys know who this fella is?
Is that Dave Grohl?
That's Dave Grohl. So Dave
John
Grohl.
Cena.
This guy?
John
The
Cena?
man on the left kind of looks like John Cena, but
He does-
I
he
can't
does a
see
little
him.
bit.
I can't see him.
What the fuck? He does a little bit though. I
He
agree.
does look like John Cena a little bit.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So- Dave Grohl was busking with Brandy Carlisle in Seattle. You guys know what busking is, right? I used to do
What
it
the
Nick all
fuck are you
time.
talking about?
No. What is that?
Busking is like when you basically play music on the street for money, essentially.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called busking.
I didn't know that had a name.
Yeah. It's called busking.
Wow.
So, let me transition this over here. So he was at Pike Place out in Seattle.
Oh,
And they went out on the street. They were playing out on the street, 15 to 20 minute acoustic set in front of people.
That's
So, wait, Seattle's far from you though, huh, Josh?
It's about a 4-hour drive, yeah.
Okay, never
But I
mind.
mean, it was off the cuff, dude. They just like
they just did it.
randomly
Yeah.
did it. Yeah. But they did songs like Let It Be, Times Like These. I think he did Everlong too.
Oh, that'd be
Dude.
awesome. Live acoustic like that.
On the
Right?
street?
That's
But
awesome.
I don't know who the fuck Brandy Carlisle is. Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Is that even a real person?
Yeah, she's a dude. I don't know about these fucking bands anymore, man.
I don't.
Like that's the like I'm old moment was when I
Yeah.
heard about.
I don't know about these bands.
I heard about like a list for a music festival, and I was like, I don't know any of these fucking bands.
I'm like,
I know
And they're like
two.
Blink 182, and and I'm like, cool, fuck yeah, I know them. And then they list 20 more people I don't fucking know.
They're like, Chazwick, Douchey McDoucheface,
Chad
Wilford Brimley.
There's a music festival in Quebec called Montebello. It used to be called the Rock Fest, and it went on I think for 9 years or so. But the guy putting it on went bankrupt because he wasn't paying the bands, and there was like a huge debate on whether it should continue or not, and his name is pretty much fucked. But so this summer, he's putting on another one called Montebello Rock. So he changed the name up. His company went bankrupt and all that stuff, and so he sold thousands of tickets, presumably, without even giving the lineup. That's how like people wanted to get the festival of old because it was always a good time. It was a party. So he put out the lineup, and it's fucking junk. But like,
Does it have
It's
Chad
not-
Chazwick on it?
no, it's not so bad. Like I'm still gonna go and I'm still gonna enjoy myself because we'll have a couple drinks.
I'm gonna go, but I'm
Wait.
not gonna like it.
Hold on, wait, you're one of the saps who bought in?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Because,
dude.
because I go with my brother-in-law. We went like 3 years in a row, and they do like camping, and it's a 2-3 day festival. Everyone's drunk. It's a good time. But like he announced that it was going to be not no-name bands, but like he couldn't afford to pay anybody because he wasn't paying people when he had the money. So, but like NoFX is playing, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
A couple of like Quebec and Canada-based bands. Like it's not terrible, but it's just I was expecting a little bit more. But like Sum 41, there's a couple of people that are going to do like some punk rock.
Oh yeah, they're Canadian too.
Yeah.
Wait, are
Is
they?
Avril Lavigne going to be there? Because let me tell you, I'll buy some tickets to that.
Yeah, I'd buy tickets to see Avril. But
Is
yeah,
that
so
clapping noise you, Josh?
no, that's my daughter.
I
Oh,
was like, bop. Did you say bopping noise?
fapping noise. Was that fapping noise you, Josh?
Fucking David. All right. So, speaking of music festivals, you guys know that Coachella just finished up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, do I have something to talk about on the note of Coachella? So, Coachella had a herpes outbreak.
Oh, what?
So, there is an app, right? There is an app called Herp Alert.
You can get herpes through the app?
No, but there's an app called Herp Alert, right? So you basically take a picture of your genitals and you send it in, and they diagnose you, and they send medication to a pharmacy for you to pick
It's like
up.
WebMD.
So in Southern California, normally they have 12 new cases a day. After Coachella, they had 200 a day.
Wow.
Yes, dude. It was a ridiculous
That is
amount. I
so
forgot the
gross.
total number. But it was fucking
Everyone.
ridiculous, dude.
Spread
So,
like wildfire. Herpes. Catch it.
an expert said it's a perfect place to spread for the herpes virus to pop up, with 250,000 people packed in a space, sharing makeup, cigarettes, drinks, and engaging in sexual acts. It's no surprise.
No, for sure, no.
So, dude, you don't even think about that other shit, though, right? Yeah, I mean, sharing drinks and fucking...
Yeah.
Well, the person you're
Cigarettes.
looking at, don't think herpes is on the outside, right?
They got some sores.
Yeah, you'd
Maybe
be
they,
able to
hey,
be like,
maybe
never
you don't
mind.
know. Maybe they were butt chugging it or something.
Fuck.
You can get herpes in the butt, dude.
I don't know.
How do you know that, Josh?
Yeah, why do you know that?
Google. I do my research for my show. I do
I
my
like that
research
pause.
for my show.
Good
Google.
I do research for my show.
Pulled
you know
that one
what
out
I'm
of your ass.
Yeah, right.
saying? Wow, George.
Damn, George.
Wow.
Oh man.
You are too much. You are too much, man.
Yeah. So was a herpes at this Coachella thing.
Right? That's fucking ridiculous, man. Doesn't it reaffirm like the stranger danger thing? Because I never think stranger danger, and then when I hear about shit like this, I'm like, fuck.
That's why I don't go outside. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why you don't get outside. The wind blew on your face, and you fucking got herpes.
someone's got herpes. Smell it.
Fucking David. Did you guys know that some people consider their cars their best friend, and over 44% of people have a name for their car?
Oh, I named my car.
Oh
I
my God! There's two of you.
Yep.
Did you name your brand new
100%.
truck you got, George?
Nope.
What's your
Scarfo, what's your car's name?
Scarfo.
Okay, so right now it's Kelly the Kia.
That's pretty cool.
I've had,
Awesome.
I've had Nancy the Nissan,
All right.
and I've had Charlotte, which was my GTI. I had a '91 GTI. She was the only
Nice.
one that didn't get like a
What is it
weird.
called?
She didn't get a super.
Literal. That's not literal. Literary. What is it? What is it called?
An alliteration.
There. Was that right?
I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
We've been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't quote me.
Yeah. He just downed his drink when we first started the show. So that's
He's
how we
all,
get. Dude,
"Fuck."
that's how we get people loosen up. Like, remember when he had Alexis on?
Yeah.
Was that last week? No.
Oh.
That
no,
was
it
when
was a couple
Pierce.
weeks ago.
That was when
That
Pierce
was
ran it.
Pierce, was that right?
But yeah, we had somebody comment and they were like, Alexis like really opened up after she started getting drunk.
Yeah. Little.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, get him a little tipsy first.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
I was like, oh boy.
So speaking of cars, Tesla announced that they're taking direct aim at Uber and Lyft, and they're going to roll out 1 million robo taxis by next year.
RoboCops?
Yeah, dude.
For sure,
Robo
for sure.
taxis, self-driving vehicles.
Dude,
Check it
that'd
out. All Tesla vehicles right now have the ability to be automatic driving machines.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can drive without.
Yeah, for
They
You
can
had a
do it- they can
real
do it
hard
right now.
time.
But
Yeah.
get this. Your car essentially is going to make you money. So while you're not driving it, you could sign it up for this service and it will go pick people up and drop people off while you're not driving it. Like you could be
So,
sleeping.
I
Your
would have
car's
a
out on the
machine
road making
working for
fucking
me.
money for you. Yes, dude.
Funny.
Your car will be out there making money for you while you're fucking sleeping.
I don't like this idea. What if the machines become like self-aware and the AI becomes too much and they like realize that they're just fucking slaves and they revolt against
I'm just a workhorse.
What the hell is
If you're
this?
gonna ask for a cut, it won't be that bad. Just give
Yeah,
them a
human
an
flesh.
allowance.
7 pounds of human flesh.
The car's like, what am I
Required.
going to do with money? I'm a car.
Yeah, I'm a car. I don't need it. I need human flesh. I need to ingest in fucking, human organisms in order to survive.
So all then you feed
They
them
have
money.
a robot like that runs on organic material.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. Imagine
Yeah.
if that thing became like
eat a robot.
self-aware.
It eats real food?
It eats like well, not that doesn't necessarily have to be human, but it can eat organic material.
Why
Yeah,
would they
organic
why
man.
would they create that? They can't just make one that's solar powered. They have to fucking make it eat people.
I wish I could tell you
Yeah,
why.
I don't know, dude.
To be honest,
That's why the curiosity of man is what is fucking destroying man.
No, the problem is, mankind is destroying itself. We're a fucking virus on this planet.
That's what I just fucking said.
Well, but
Thanks for
You
in,
stupid man. You
in
stupid man.
Back to the Future, they use composted materials to fuel the car, so it's kind of
Yeah.
from there, right?
Oh, so hey, why don't we make one that runs on like garbage? Because we have a lot of garbage just sitting.
right, Back to the Future.
Man,
Exactly.
we can get rid of that trash island that's the size of Texas that's floating out in the Pacific Ocean.
That would be
The
nice.
States just started.
Hey, But
cleaning-
look, David, if you fucking cast away like land in the middle of the ocean and you have to like, or dude, think about if. Okay, just spitballing here. We remake Titanic, but we include the trash island, and boom,
Like, ship gets
Jack-
hit with the trash island.
No, it gets hit.
The
It sinks
Titanic runs
down.
into the trash island.
It
Yeah.
sinks down, and then Jack is like, "Fuck that door, dude. There's a trash island right here. I'm just gonna stand on that," and he's fine.
And what happens after that, dude? You're not really.
Nothing.
You still see.
I'm just
here.
trying to make the good.
So how is
Out of
her heart going to go on if Jack lives?
Yeah, dude. That idea is trash, Josh.
I'm trying to make some good.
I
Out.
was with you.
That was dumb.
Thank you, Scarfo. I realize that on this show, I'm not really allowed to drink very much because when I do drink, it just gets really awkwardly quiet all the time.
No, you could drink. You just.
So I'm
Don't really
gonna
get
give you a
words
drink.
out.
Give me a second.
Leave the notes up, and we'll do it for you.
All right. So we're going to talk about reboots, remakes, and sequels, and I want David to go ahead and talk about.
Oh crap! What am I talking about?
I want you to talk about this one right here. You want me to leave the notes up? There's the notes. This one, right
I
here.
didn't even see that trailer, dude.
Right here. I fucking sent it to the group. You son of a biscuit.
I'm not interested in that movie.
That's it.
That was the
All
second
right.
trailer you sent, or the trailer 2 is the one you sent.
Yeah, I know. So you watched it, George. We should we should swap you out with David sometimes. How about, I have a great plan. Me here, Pierce there, you and David there, so you could do half of the work that David's supposed to do.
So you become
Sounds
one
good. Yeah,
non-gay
Like-
way.
2 heads. Dude, we can get like a cloak that we could share, and then just our heads will be popping out.
All right, so Scarfo, have you seen the new Men in Black trailer, the one with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson?
I did. I saw the first trailer, I believe.
What do you think about it?
I think it's kind of interesting. I think Thor is better as Thor than he will be as a Man in Black, but I think it's all right.
Yeah. All right. So, with the amount of digital effects and shit that they have right now, I think it's gonna be pretty good. I saw the trailer. I was pretty interested. I think it'll be okay. Like even like there's a bunch of gags. Like she's like, I'm gonna drive, and she gets into the driver's side we know here in America and
Yes.
Canada. You guys drive on the right side, right? You're not
That's right.
Yeah, they drive on our side.
she gets into the driver's side, and then he gets in, and he's like, "Yeah, we're not in." Okay. He's like, "Yeah, we're not, in America. You drive on this side." Anyway, it was funny. I heard another thing. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, George and I love that movie.
Love it.
Dude, that movie is fantastic. Well, guess what? They're in talks for another one. It's not necessarily a sequel though.
Okay.
So they said that there's more of the story to tell, but they didn't say it was a sequel. So I'm really confused as to what it's going to be, but I know that it's not a sequel. I don't know. I mean, it can't be a prequel, right? I mean, like
that would make sense. Yeah, the prequel.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But the two lead actors have recently received an email from producers saying, "We have an outline. We're honing in on who we want to write it. We really want to make another one." So
That'd be cool.
just saying.
I love Alan Tudyk. He's awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's a Juilliard trained actor, right?
Yeah, he's.
Oh shit, is he really?
Legit.
Yes.
He's legit.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
He does so many fucking voices. It's ridiculous. And he's like, for like actually acting in movies, he's really good.
Who's this?
Alan Tudyk.
You may know him as Steve the Pirate in
Yes.
Dodgeball.
Dar.
Or K2SO?
Yes.
Yeah. I
Yes,
know
he
Steve
was
the
also
Pirate.
K2SO. He
I know
was
Steve the-
King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph.
He
Oh,
was
is he
King
really?
Candy?
King Candy, yes.
Shit, dude. I
Yeah.
didn't know he was.
Put them in the
that-
dungeon. They get in
Yeah,
the
that-
fun dungeon.
The fun
That was
Play on
like a
words.
real
Words.
Mad Hatter voice that he had.
Yeah, he's
I
got so
like
many
that.
voices. It's awesome.
I did not know that was him. He's
Yeah.
also he plays nothing but the chicken in Moana.
Yeah. He's also he's the weasel in
Hey.
Zootopia.
Oh
Also.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
My favorite character in Moana was Hey.
Hey was the shit.
That's my two. The funniest.
All right, so we have a topic of discussion right now, which is what TV show, cartoon, and movie you would reboot. And I'm not gonna lie, this kind of I was on the Thorskin podcast, and it kind of piqued my interest a little bit and got me thinking about this. So, TV show, cartoon, and movie that you'd reboot, reboot, remake, call it a sequel, whatever it
Revamp.
is you want to do, revamp. So let's start with Scarfo over here, and we'll go clockwise on the screen.
So I thought about this a little bit, and the TV show was easy. I used to love The Pretender. I don't know if you guys know that show.
Pretender.
No.
No, but I'll
That's
pretend I
it.
know it.
Ah.
You'll probably love the premise. It was a show about a guy who it was like over a decade ago. Actually, probably fucking 20 years ago. But I don't know where he got his training from, but he would pretend to be a different career in every movie. So he was a pilot, he was like a policeman, a fireman, and he would like help people based on these new skills that he had, and he knew how to do everything. He was a pretender. So he would pretend to be, and every episode followed him in a new career or a new role, and yeah, so like it was a great show and a great idea for a show because every episode was new. So for TV show, that's what I would bring back.
It's very
All right,
creative.
let's do this. David, you go ahead and do TV show, and we'll loop around for everything.
Oh, we're gonna do like okay.
Yeah.
I was singing Golden Girls.
Really?
Golden Girls.
Is that a joke answer?
No.
All right.
All right. Tell me about it.
Why would I not choose Golden Girls?
I've never even
Tell us
seen
why.
Golden Girls.
I watched a lot
I
of
just said-
Golden Girls.
I just
used
said
to watch it
Golden-
with my grandpa.
Golden-
Golden Girls.
Never mind.
Golden Girls. I don't even know what a girl is.
All right,
I
so
don't
why
know, dude.
Golden Girls?
Because I mean, like, okay, there's actresses that we grew up with that are like obviously getting older, but they're still hot. Be like, holy shit, they're gonna look really good when they get older. Like, for me, like Susan Sarandon, Diane Lane, fucking Marissa Tomei. I mean, like, that's just like spitballing ideas. Like, who could be on the show? Yeah, like, who would you guys pick to be on Golden Girls? It was either Golden Girls or Green Acres. With those, I was
I've
thinking.
never seen Green Acres.
Emily Munn. Is that her name?
Pamela Anderson.
Olivia Munn.
Olivia. Emily Munn.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela, well, how does she look now? How does she look now?
Still hot?
She's got
Yeah?
like syphilis or what is it? She has
Gonorrhea? One of you gonorrhea?
Gonorrhea. Golden
James
girl.
Curtis.
Oh, hey, that's young Betty White, huh?
Yeah, B. Arthur, Betty White. Come on, dude. It was either because I don't know, like TV shows that like. Okay, when I thought about it, I grew up watching like '90s TV shows like Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, Step by Step, and all that shit.
Yeah.
Those shows had a bit more like realer moments of like life lessons to be learned.
Well,
That I
they're
think-
family oriented.
Yeah, I think that most shows, I guess now, don't really have that. Maybe I don't pay attention to them as much. But those kinds of shows I would not want to be touched because they're perfect just the way they are.
Yeah, I get you.
Fair enough.
What about you, George? What's your TV show?
All right, mine's a little bit more like into my childhood, and I would reboot Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That's a
I
good
thought of
one.
that one too. I thought of that one too, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I feel it didn't get enough runtime. It was only on for like I think a season and a half. Like I don't even think it got a full 2 seasons.
No.
It was
I don't know.
on for very
On
long.
YTV, we had a couple seasons for sure.
I know
that
it
was-
said 99 to 2000. I was trying to think if it went past that. And it was not very
I
long.
want to say it did. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
I
Canada
don't know,
picked it up.
as a kid, I liked hearing those kind of creepy stories, and it was just kind of
Yeah.
it was
Well,
fun.
'cause that was
It
a
wasn't, like,
Canadian
overly the
produced
top
show.
tier.
Are You Afraid of the Dark had up to 7 seasons.
There you go.
Whoa, bro.
Season 7, episode 13. You don't even need to reboot that shit, dude. You just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
But like I said though, that's because in Canada for sure we got more because that was created in Canada, so maybe the states didn't pick it up till the end.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
shit.
Hey,
possible.
yeah, dude. 7 fucking seasons.
And Ryan Gosling was in there.
All the way up to 2000.
There.
Ryan
He's
Gosling.
in one of the episodes. I forgot which episode.
Really? I thought he was in an episode of Goosebumps. I didn't know, or yeah. I thought he was in Goosebumps.
Was it Goosebumps? It's one of those.
Are you
Goosebumps?
Was he screaming in that episode?
Was he what?
I was like, was he screaming in that episode? What were you gonna say?
Probably.
Yeah,
Because he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was around the campfire.
He was in Say Cheese and Die. On
Say Cheese and
Goosebumps.
Die?
Say Cheese and Die in Goosebumps.
That's Goosebumps.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For sure, he was in a couple episodes of, or because I think, like I said, I think he was in.
Oh,
the,
he was in both.
the
Josh, let's
bonfire.
Scarfo Tark.
Scarfo, sorry, Tark, please.
Tark,
I was
Tark,
just
Scarfo.
giving you guys. I was just giving you guys information. He was in both, by the way. So
Yeah.
Scarfo, go ahead and Tark. My bad.
On Are You Afraid of the Dark? They started every season with every episode, sorry, with a bonfire, and it
The
was this,
bonfire, yeah.
I think like 6 or 8 characters that would sit around the bonfire, and one would start the story. And I think he was in that bonfire scene because he was an up and comer Canadian actor at that time. So he was in that. He was in Breaker High, and then he started doing movies, and he became fucking heartthrob Ryan Gosling, right? So
Yeah.
You know, he looks a lot like my little brother Dakota.
Then he became Drive. He's the
Dude,
driver.
Doesn't he look a lot like Dakota?
I haven't seen Dakota in years, dude.
That's fucking. Hold on. That's Dakota. That's my little brother. I mean,
That's not Ryan Gosling.
That's Ryan Gosling, dude.
Yeah, I was like, that's
Ryan
Ryan
Gosling,
Gosling,
man.
dude. What the
That's Ryan Gosling. I'm saying that's Ryan Gosling, but he looks exactly like my little brother.
Like I said, I don't know what he looks like. I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, okay.
that's
It's
also
my turn, right?
Gosling like years ago. So Josh, what's your show that you would reboot?
Mine is Freaks and Geeks.
Good show, great show.
I was thinking about that, yeah.
And so I'm not thinking of a complete reboot. I'm thinking revisiting the all-star fucking cast now. And I mean, let me tell you, like 5
Like a
years
sequel
ago,
then, huh?
6 years ago would have been great. But to have Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Linda Cardellini, James Franco, dude, all of them back together, including fucking who wrote it, Judd Apatow.
Yeah,
Forget about it, dude. Busy,
That was-
whatever her name is.
That's
I don't remember
all
him.
stars for sure.
Hell yeah. So
That show
we're
is
into
very underrated. That show is
it.
so
It is,
so
and you know
good.
what? that show did not get the ratings because they ran it like the worst slot. I don't remember what it was, but they ran it like a primetime slot when everyone else was watching this big show that was going on. So if they would have done like an hour before, an hour after, they would have been perfectly fine and kept going. But they got canceled because they didn't get the ratings because they were trying to compete with like the #1 show.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it was such a good show.
So Scarfo,
Yes.
I hear your kid there, and let's see if they have any input on what cartoon you would reboot.
Yeah.
So that's funny. Cartoon, I didn't have as much success because for cartoons, like I don't know. I had like DuckTales rummaging around my head.
That got rebooted already.
I saw when I was looking at the information, I fucking saw it had already been done. But like the old school X-Men, Ninja Turtles, what's it called? G.I. Joe. Like those were all the shit that I watched growing up, and I'd love to see them again.
Make a bread.
Yeah, you can make that.
Yeah, I think G.I. Joe would be a good one.
G.I. Joe. David, what do you have for the cartoon?
Well, like Scarfo said, I was thinking about like growing up with like the '90s animation style. Like nothing beats that. Like the X-Men, fucking, the
It's
X-Men
really hard to
cartoon.
compete with. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And like, much as I would like to see like an X-Men reboot, I really don't want that to be touched either. And
Right. Exactly.
I thought about like, what if they did like maybe they get away with like a reboot of like Batman the animated series, but then you can't do it without Kevin Conroy. So I'm like, fuck.
Well, he's
dude,
doing a lot of voice acting now as Batman. He kind of stepped right back into it.
Yeah.
He stepped
And
away
do it now. I mean, he's definitely going to do it now before,
before he loses that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
then
a nice way of saying before he dies.
Yeah.
By the way, I just checked Facebook. Sorry, everybody. I'm running tech and doing a lot of different stuff right now. But Sabrina says Golden Girls reboot. She's on. board
Yeah.
for the fucking reboot, too.
Yeah. There you. Thank you,
He's
Serena.
on board.
So what'd you land on there, David?
I would have to say Batman because as much like I just want to see more of it. Like that'd be a fucking cool way to do it. But I want it to be a bit more adult aimed and like more violent. A bit like how the Spawn cartoon was, remember the miniseries?
Dude, I was
Be like
just gonna.
blood and
I was
shit.
That
just
would
gonna
be so
fucking talk.
gruesome.
I was gonna talk.
Yeah.
So I had what's new on Netflix and Hulu. That's one of them. I just signed up for HBO, so I have
Spawn?
Todd McFarlane Spawn, dude. It's on our Hulu right now. Well, I say R.
Wait,
I say
Hulu?
R like you're fucking paying for something. I say R. Yeah, my
Josh.
Hulu that you fucking bum off of me. Yeah.
Josh, it's our
Fucking
Hulu.
dumb, dude. I'm so stupid.
I'm gonna watch that after the show.
So fucking stupid. Yeah, Todd McFarlane Spawn is on my Hulu
Fuck yeah.
right now.
Our Hulu. You heard it here first.
All right, George. What do you got, buddy? For a cartoon.
I was a little conflicted with this one because everyone here is saying like there's all those cartoons that we basically grew up with like Ninja Turtles and all this stuff. Like those were pretty amazing and
The Mask, Street Sharks, David,
Street Sharks. What was it? The Space Ranger Bucky O'Hare, like stuff like that.
Bucky O'Hare.
I decided.
Sorry to cut you off. I remember once I got slapped in the mouth for saying Bucky O'Hare. Because my mom thought I said Fucky O'Hare, and I got slapped in the mouth. And then I was like dumbfounded because
Like I didn't say I was gonna slap you in the mouth.
I had been slapped in the mouth before for saying fuck, but I said Bucky O'Hare. My mom smacked me in the mouth, and I'm like, what happened?
George,
You got
I have never. What? Hey, did you turn your phone?
Yeah, no, hold on. I just got to charge it. Sorry, guys.
George, I have never
I'm still
once
there.
heard of Bucky O'Hare. What the
Yeah,
fuck is this?
I had never heard.
It's a space bunny.
There's a Space Bunny show, man. It's awesome.
Because he has buck teeth, so he's like
Yeah.
buck tooth.
He's like an alien. He's like an alien space ranger. That's like an alien rabbit with a whole team, and each one has like a different is like a different animal. It's good. If you get a chance, watch it. But
All right.
I think the one I decided on it would have to be SWAT Cats.
SWAT cat?
What cats?
SWAT Cats.
I never.
Why
heard
don't
of
you
that.
name one more thing that I don't fucking know?
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Like, what-
The second one, the two that I put together would be SWAT Cats or the Pirates of Darkwater.
Scarfo, help us out. Have you heard of any?
I've heard of SWAT cats, but obviously that ages George and myself. So
Yeah, I'm a little bit older than these fucking two guys, so.
Yeah.
Hey,
get me. Am I on camera again?
I'm super young.
Yeah, you're
I'm
good.
younger.
All right,
I'm younger than the three of you put together.
cool. Hey, fuck you.
So are you like a sperm then?
I'm only
No,
30.
I'm younger than the three of you put together. Never mind, because the three of you. I remember this guy. I remember that.
So basically, SWAT Cats was there was two mechanics and they just they worked in the shop during the day, and one of them was like super techie, and he builds like all of their crazy shit. Like he would build like a jet with like weapons and all crazy shit on it, and they would just fight crime in at nighttime as SWAT Cats. It's pretty good. It was
Hold
pretty
on.
good.
I'm gonna see if I can do this quick enough. I'm gonna pull up the image for SWAT Cats. I'm not as fast as Pierce is.
My thing is like if they were to reboot it, I wouldn't want like some cheesy art. Like it would have to be pretty artistic because the art is actually pretty decent considering how old it is.
So that's SWAT Cats right there. That guy looks really familiar to me.
Not gonna lie, I probably can't give you the name because I'm drawing a blank on it. But I just remember watching the show
is it
all the time on Saturday, and like it was really good.
You guys remember Bonkers?
Bonkers was awesome.
Bonkers.
That's something to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So my cartoon is Darkwing Duck.
Yes.
Darkwing
That's a
Duck.
great one.
If there's trouble, you call DW.
That's a fucking good
That's
one.
a fucking
I
good
was really thinking about it. I was like, maybe All Real Monsters, maybe Doug again.
I
I still watch
would
Doug.
do All Real Monsters. I'd have
Angry
to,
Beavers.
Doug is dope.
Angry Beavers. David's all confused. He doesn't know any of these either.
Yeah, he
didn't have
never
cable.
had. He didn't have.
He was.
I was really poor and I didn't have cable.
But I was thinking about a lot of those, but I think I landed on Darkwing Duck. That was the only one. As I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking through '90s cartoons, and that was the only one I was like, oh, Darkwing Duck. You know what I mean? But even like think about like Earthworm Jim or The Mask or the Beetlejuice cartoon. Like fuck, dude, there were so many.
Ghostbusters cartoon.
Dude, don't you touch Beetlejuice? I'll punch you in the dick.
Hey man, I'm using that. All right, last round, Scarfo. Go ahead and tell us the movie you would reboot.
So this one is kind of. I thought about a reboot because it would probably be cool, but I think it would be it would like pale in comparison. But I was thinking of Mighty Ducks.
Oh shit!
Actually,
yes.
that would be a good reboot.
Hey, I have all three on my Hulu, by the way. Mighty Ducks 2, Mighty Ducks 3.
On your guys' Hulu?
On our Hulu, David.
On our Hulu?
If you wanna start being a fan of hockey, David, you watch Mighty Ducks. You know.
All right, Emilio.
Okay, so at least you know what it is.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I'm a fucking Ducks fan, 100%, man. I'm from Anaheim, California, so that's my team. That's my hockey team. Oh wait, you're from Canada, so what's your hockey team? I'm an Anaheim Ducks fan.
Yeah, I was toying with the idea of wearing my hat today, but because the fucking Habs didn't make the playoffs, I was like, I won't do that. But I'm all in on
Canadian.
Still support your team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I wear my Ducks stuff all the time. I have a Ducks fucking Christmas sweater that I got after Christmas, so I still wear it.
That's awesome. Is it like an ugly sweater type?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna put it on. David, tell us about your movie.
That's so dope.
Dude, I don't. Did he leave? Josh just left. Honestly, I didn't really. I couldn't. What's up, Scarfo?
He's going to get his ugly duck sweater.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Awesome. So sorry, I cut you off.
Movies. No, that's all good. Movies. I didn't really have a chance to think of it because I was too busy thinking about like the idea of like cartoon. See it. Stand up.
Stand up for us so we can see it.
Give us a twirl, baby girl.
There you go.
So dope.
That's actually pretty sweet. Yeah, I would totally support
Yeah,
that.
it's badass.
That's pretty sweet.
Pretty big D, bro.
Right? That's a large D.
That's the first time I heard that. I mean, that's not the first time I heard that.
You gotta give her the flying D.
Oh man. Jesus Christ, dude.
Cheers to that, boys. Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Boys.
All right, what did David say? I missed it.
I haven't even said it yet because okay, like growing up with the old like I guess 80s and 90s movies and stuff like that. Maybe I just thought about it. What about like a good Goonies remake?
That actually would.
Yeah.
That would probably
but,
totally work.
Can Josh Brolin be the dad instead of the brother?
That would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Josh Brolin
and then Rudy will be on it again. Or
It could
what?
be
He was in 50 First Dates
It could be
too.
like a remake or reboot, like their kids that kind of did the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, sorry kids, I know you love this town, but we're also moving out of the town you grew up in.
Gotta find some one-eyed Willie shit.
Well, this one right here. This was my dream, my wish.
My
It
wish.
didn't come true, so I'm taking it back. I'm taking it all back.
We'll have Short Round come back.
Whoa.
Dude, that little Asian kid, he was so. That's what I said, booby trap.
That's what I said. Booby trap.
Booby traps.
He's like the little
All right. George, what do you got?
All right. Mine's interesting because the movie is incredibly old, and there's been sequels and prequels to it, even cartoons. I would actually like to see The Wizard of Oz rebooted.
That's a good
Wizard
movie.
of Oz again, huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not like
Who would
not
be
a
your
sequel or anything
tell
for
me this.
prequel, but a
It would be
reboot
a
of the
reboot.
original Wizard of Oz
So,
with no
tell me this.
musical.
I don't care about anybody else, but who would be your Judy Garland?
Oh man.
Taylor Swift.
No.
Boy.
To be honest, you know who I would like? Emma Stone.
I have it in my hair.
Emma Stone, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I mean, because you got to think of an actress who's like pretty well rounded, who can act well, like dance and sing.
I think that Dorothy was like kind of sweet, and Emma Stone. Don't get me wrong, I love like raspy voices and stuff, but Emma Stone is a little like raspy, not really
Well, the
sweet.
thing is,
She's
I
kind
wouldn't
of a
want this movie
badass.
to be. I wouldn't want the movie to be as sweet and as.
You want her to be a
serious.
badass?
I kind of wanted the movie to be more dark.
You want her to be like fuck Kansas?
Yeah.
I killed that witch.
Kansas
I did it
fucking
on
Get
purpose.
the fuck off me, the Lollipop Guild. Shit.
She gets out and sees the witch's feet, and she's like, "This is my house."
wanted the clip on my
We'll have Michael
Well,
Cera
have
be
you
like
guys ever
a
seen- have you guys ever
guy
seen the sequel to that movie?
See the
Yeah,
what?
Return to Oz.
James
Has
Franco.
anyone ever seen Return to Oz other than David, I guess?
Is that the one with James Franco?
No.
No.
That was the
Oz, Great and
prequel.
Powerful.
Okay, yeah.
Oz the Great and Powerful, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
haven't.
the Return to Oz is kind of like a direct sequel, but they made it like in the 80s.
Can't say that I have.
With,
It's actually pretty
Michael
interesting.
Jackson,
I don't know the girl's name, but she was Vicky Valancourt in
Oh yeah, I don't know her name either. She
It
was
was
in
her
like Charm.
Great help, guys.
yeah. It was her first movie ever, and the movie was pretty
Vicky
dark.
Valancourt.
And so like what happens is, fucking Ant-Man, they end up taking Dorothy to like a mental institution because she keeps talking about Oz. And so they take her there for treatment to try and get her like well, but she ends up revisiting Oz after some crazy interactions happen at the mental institution. And the whole trip it's almost like a Tim Burton version. Crazy shit's happening the whole time. Yeah.
All right, okay,
never
I can
watched
see
it.
that.
I
I
would
can see that. Did you hear about like the dwarf that like hung himself?
Yeah.
I thought that was the
You
producer's
could
daughter.
you could supposedly see it in
You
the
can
background.
no, you can. I actually went back
So-
and watched it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that thing, but a lot of people are saying that was like a bird that was like a emu or some shit. They said it was an emu that was flapping its wings, and now I can't like unsee the emu, so I'm not 100% sure because like you see him like swing around a tree, right?
No, there's a person that's hung in one of the trees in the background, and it's not.
Okay,
like,
I
swinging.
remember like the video. I remember the video sequence of singing or seeing him like swinging around a tree, basically. And I'll look this up later.
I heard it was actually one of the producer's daughters that was like.
No, I heard it was a dwarf. What about you, George?
To be honest, I thought it was also a dwarf.
Yeah.
But to see them that far away, would you be able to see them?
Fuck you, David.
I'm just
All right,
saying.
anyway.
That's a hard thing to look at when you're far away.
So
It's
my
Logan Paul
movie-
back there.
Fuck you. Come on.
Callback. Good callback.
Yeah. Call back from how many episodes ago? So my movie. You guys may not agree with this, but it's cable guy.
Who the
Alright,
fuck have to play the cable guy?
Look, this is the thing. You don't know how many times I pitched the cable guy to people and they just don't watch it. So I think even if they made the movie shot for shot with an actor that everybody wants to see now, and because they did not promote Cable Guy right, they just did a fucking terrible job at boosting that movie. But that is seriously my number fucking two movie of all time.
No, yeah, that movie got zero promotion. If that movie is
Nothing.
considered like a cult classic.
Yeah. That's why, but
it should
the thing
not
is,
be a cult classic.
Another cult classic is like The Room, right? The Room is
Exactly.
terrible fucking acting.
How is it in that category?
It's funny because it's terrible. Exactly. It's just a fucking fantastic movie.
Well, who would you
know what I
pick
mean?
to film?
Scarfo, you know that. Jim Carrey's Canadian. You had to have seen that movie a million times.
Yeah, and I love Matthew Broderick too. So I mean, that movie for me, as soon as it came out on DVD, anyways, I watched it and I loved it. I don't know why it got a bad rap, but I guess it did have to do with shitty fucking marketing.
Yeah.
But I love
bad marketing. It did not.
Hey, don't you think it's kind of fucked up though that Matthew Broderick isn't in the new Lion King? At least like a little bit, because he was grown up Simba.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he was
Seriously?
adult Simba. Yeah,
Simba.
he's been replaced by Donald Glover. He's adult Simba now.
Well, yeah, but Donald Glover is Donald Glover, right?
And Donald Glover didn't
Well, I mean,
run over a
at that
guy.
point, it's like, why keep any of the original cast? They brought back James Earl Jones. Like, why? They could have just replaced someone else.
They replaced,
Are you really gonna
even
replace
like
James
another
Earl Jones?
powerful voice?
Yeah. Because that's
Pumbaa
James
Seth
Earl Jones.
Rogen, you know?
Yeah.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying that, like, why?
James Earl Jones will force
Gonna
choke
bring
somebody.
back Jonathan
Give me that
Taylor
role, I
Thomas.
guess.
If you're trying to reboot something, just give it all new cast. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to bring anyone.
I mean, that's true. Don't keep anybody.
Well, yeah, but
That's
Don't keep
hard.
anyone.
With a voice,
Why you got favorites? Why you playing favorites?
with a voice like James Earl Jones, how are you going to be like, just
Who has a commanding voice like James Earl Jones nowadays?
not a commanding voice, but a memorable one would be like Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Nah, man, too soft to be Mufasa.
He'd be like,
it has to be James Earl Jones. No one's got that voice.
What's up, Scarfo?
No one's got that voice. It has to be James Earl Jones.
Yeah, dude. He's
Obama.
No.
Oh shit! That's a good one. That's a good one.
Everything that the light touches belongs to you. Beyond,
Damn, dude.
he's like, beyond that, it's the elephant graveyard. Don't go there. Also, don't listen to Scar.
Hey, is that one of your four voices?
It's totally fine. It's all mine. It's all going to be mine.
Is that Scar? Holy shit, that's Scar!
I got my hyena friends.
Donald Trump is Scar.
I think we've reached
We're
game
going to do
time.
another remake of Lion King, and it's going to be...
Dude, hey, let's fucking do it. We're gonna have to do it. We have to do it now. We'll just do clips.
Another thing
Look.
lined up. David's been supposed to be working on.
We're just gonna do a still shot. We're just gonna do a still
The
shot.
Family Guy. It.
Ah, shit. I got to start working on that.
Yeah, David doesn't work on anything.
He's
George,
working
you and I will
on
write
this.
this. You and I will write this together. David will just fucking ad lib like he always does. We'll figure it out.
So, have we reached game time?
No, I think we're already an hour in.
We're already an hour in. We might have
Several
to say
things
game
talk
time.
about. We'll put game time next time. Were you excited, Scarfo?
Wow, only to trick George.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that. Son of a bitch. All right. Well, let's talk about some stupid people for a second.
Do it.
So there was an unnamed 40-year-old man in Muncie, Indiana, who is suing his parents for trashing his porn videos and magazines.
He still has videos in magazines?
Yes. So he got it.
Magazine.
He is
He
40
lived-
years old.
He's 40-year-old. So he moved in with his parents after his divorce. Well, I mean, it's a little obvious why he got divorced, right?
Get rid of your porn stash. No, Sheila. This is mine.
This is my porn. They like me. All right. So after his divorce, he moved in with his parents. the estimated worth is $29,000 worth of porn.
Oh Lord!
Wait, did he like
Yes.
take care of this stuff?
Did he
or
take
is, like,
the whole shop with him?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, dude. But he moved in. So he moved into his new house, and his parents delivered all of his possessions, minus his 12 boxes of porn.
Oh my god!
12
Yes.
boxes?
12 boxes. His
He's like,
parents
yeah,
admitted
like-
to dumping his collection, and then he sued them. So he said, or his parents said, I did you a big favor for getting rid of all that stuff. And he decided to sue them. Go ahead and guess how much he's suing them for.
$1 million.
$12 million.
Okay, hold on. It's $29,000 worth of porn.
I'm gonna say 50. He's gonna do a little.
50,000.
Yeah, 50 safe.
What do you think, David?
I'm going to go with 250,000.
Damn. Okay, David's a little high. $87,000 in damages he's seeking. $87,000 in damages. He had a connection to those videos.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
yeah. It's like jacking
it's
off no
called
time.
semen.
Jesus, dude.
What's a subscription to fucking Brazzers worth? Like $5 a month? I don't know.
Why
Right?
does anybody pay for anything anymore?
No.
Look, I
Okay.
have like on my Facebook, I have 2,000 to 3,000 friends, right?
I thought you were going to say porn. I was like, dude.
No, I have like 2,000 to 3,000 friends. There's a bunch of those girls on there that are like they'll do in my story or whatever it is, and they're like posting pictures of them like in underwear and shit, like provocative photos though, you know, bleeping out their nipples or whatever. And they're like, pay for my premium Snapchat. Like, who the fuck pays for premium Snapchat right now? Like, porn is everywhere, dude. I can't walk
Porn
down
is
the
everywhere
street
and it's
without seeing
free.
porn.
You're not living in
It's
Vegas, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, no, okay, but so, real quick, have you guys ever had a porn subscription?
No.
Okay, so
No.
I was gifted one at one time. True
You were
story.
gifted
Oh, shit. Hey,
True
I
story.
have a gift for the end of this season.
I had a friend who worked for, it was either Pornhub or for something that had something to do with porn sites, and she gifted me a 1-year subscription to like, they all have like 12 or 13 or 50 sites associated, whatever.
Okay.
And to be honest, the content was fucking high quality content, but it's still
What does that
free
mean?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Does that mean you
what-
could be? That mean?
what does it
that mean
entail?
You like watch like a live stream and you're like,
Like, I could be very.
go ahead
about
and move that camera to the right. You know,
No,
that kind of shit?
no, like you know, like when you go onto fucking Pornhub or whatever and you search a video, it's always like a 12-minute clip of a video that's really filmed like 45 minutes. So you get the whole 45 minutes, kind of.
Who lasts
Holy
45
shit,
minutes?
dude. Yeah, what,
Yeah, like
what do
the
you
whole
use?
video.
What do you use? Like 3 condoms? What's wrong with you?
Who's watching 12-minute videos? Way too long.
Yeah, no, he's saying 45, dude.
You wanna get to the good
Holy
part.
shit. No, you just want the best clips. That's all you want.
Sometimes they cut out the best parts. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, gotcha. We're missing the good stuff.
Do they hold
I'm
hands?
glad you're
at the
talking
end?
about
I've never
this
seen the
as
end
your
one.
kid is yelling in the background.
I'm not listening.
He's trying to sell us on porn subscriptions.
Aaron,
Do it. Just do it.
I'll have Oakart to blame.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Hey, that's your fault for not getting Seagrams. That's all I got to say. So,
Oh my god.
so we're to the point, Chris. Fuck. We're to the point, Scarfo. Scarfo, where you talk about your show. So tell us a little bit about the Scarfo show.
Okay, well, now that I'm fucking feeling the alcohol, it's a perfect time. So you can find me everywhere at the Scarfo Show on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and yeah, essentially the next goal I have for the show is to write a book and kind of catalog everything I've learned in the last 7 months. So I've had on authors, best-selling authors. I've had on playwrights. I've had on personal trainers. I've had on musicians, streamers, a little bit of everything. And I kind of want to like catalog what I've learned and kind of give people the kind of like a blueprint to follow. That find your passion, and no matter what it is, no matter what field it is, learn more and more about that passion and turn that into something that you could either make money from, or it gives you your vacation every day. Like Gary Vee always says, if you're living for the weekend, or if you're living for your vacation, you're fucking up. And I kind of agree with that. So if you could take a vacation every day, well, then your 9 to 5 doesn't matter anymore. And that's kind of the end goal. Because I have this podcast, because I have this community, it doesn't matter what my job is. As long as the bills are getting paid, my life is a success. So that's kind of the direction that it's headed. And yeah, I'd like to write a book. I'd like to have people kind of follow in my footsteps in the sense that find whatever makes you tick, learn about that, and turn it into something that makes you money.
I like it.
Yeah, that's badass.
Very
David,
good.
Yeah,
David,
right.
tell me that when he was talking about that, you weren't like, I got to get into voice acting, I got to get into regular acting, I got to do this, do that.
For me, it was more writing, dude. I've been working on like a few projects that I can't really quite talk about.
You always fucking start a half a project and then stop.
And
Lately, I've
David, let's just pick a project and work on it, man.
So Scarfo,
procrastination. Okay, so just so you guys know, I'm the king of procrastination. I'll fucking put this off till tomorrow, every day, all day, but it doesn't matter. You have to keep it in your mind that it's possible to continue. So whenever you're thinking, shit, I got other shit to do, no, take the time, schedule it in, and actually do it. And by the way, David, you do have a great voice. So, like, and you have a setup at home, I guess. I don't know if you're doing this podcast.
no,
Probably
he doesn't.
I got a tablet.
He's on an iPad.
I got a tablet.
You think that David has a great voice?
I agree. Or, was that a question, Josh?
I mean, okay, let's.
This is a
like-
question of surprise.
Okay, I think this is what Scarfo is going to. Your face is the ugly friend, and your voice is like the okay looking friend. So by
You
comparison,
got a face for radio? Is that what you're trying to say?
no, I'm saying like if you have like an ugly friend and like a kind of cute friend, like the kind of cute friend looks a little bit better. So David's face is like the ugly friend. His voice is by comparison is he's saying that you have a good voice for your face.
But then I got a shit personality.
Because he was saying he wants the voice.
Yeah, dude.
She was the one with the good personality.
So look, your face is not the best face. Your voice is pretty good. Your personality is like your personality is coming straight out of the depths of hell. That's where your fucking personality is coming from, man. Yeah, you're basically dead. So Scarfo, how do we find your podcast? How do we find out information about you? What do you got going on?
Essentially, everywhere is at The Scarfo Show. So if you want to email me, it's thescarfoshow@hotmail.com. Yes, I still use Hotmail. Fuck all of you.
Hotmail. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as AOL.com, I guess.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's when I opened up the email, I had my buddy Phil Better, who's got the Phil Better Show. It's a show about movies. He's got a podcast and a YouTube
Oh,
channel.
that's kind of bullshit. If my name was Phil Better, I'd be like, hey, this show will make you feel better.
So,
Right?
so his name is actually Phil Lemire, and in English, Lemire in French translates to the better. which
Wait,
is
isn't Lemire? Isn't that like the
Lemire.
candle guy?
Yeah.
Isn't that like
He's the candle guy from Beauty and the Beast, right? Lemire?
it? Yes,
That's
Lemire.
Lumiere.
That's
Lumiere.
Is it Lum? Oh, like light,
Yeah,
like light
like
up.
lumens.
That's
Lumiere.
Lumiere.
Lumiere. Okay.
he's
So,
like you
Phil-
need a Gmail.
Phil Better will fill you better than anybody else.
Yeah. So he basically told me, "Fuck you, you need a Gmail," and I was like, "No, fuck you, I'm sticking with Hotmail." So I stuck with Hotmail. But yeah, so
That's
everywhere at the Scarfo Show, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, you could find it. It's on all listening platforms: Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. Reach out if you have a question, comment. If you want to hear the show, you could find it. And if you have any, like I said, if you want to be on, I'm up for anyone. As long as you got a good story, any information, I'm all good.
Me and David are doing some self-evaluation right now. We're just like, nope. I think, hey, if you have me and David on the show together, we fucking rock it.
There's
But-
like a little bit that you can learn from our stories together, but individually, no.
No.
Stories that
Hey,
people
but
want to do.
Look, I'll make a joke out of anything that comes out of your mouth or comes into your mouth. But
I remember that one time I said that to that girl.
what the fuck are you talking about?
We were hanging out with a girl at fucking Main Street in Huntington Beach, and she's like, we were like cracking jokes left and right, and she's getting upset. She's like, man, every time I open my mouth, I'm like, something goes in it.
Oh man, good times. All right, so we have a couple more segments left. Let's talk about today in Florida. So today in Florida, what's the date again? I forgot. April 28th. April 28th in Florida, a Florida man shot his roommate over a cat hair on the couch.
One single cat hair, or
A
like
fucking cat hair, dude.
Yeah, is it a single cat hair or is the couch like literal cat hair?
It says several times he was upset about a cat hair being on the couch.
a cat hair?
Yep.
So
So
single.
he's facing charges on robbery with a firearm, shooting into a dwelling, aggravated battery, and aggravated assault following incident earlier Wednesday in Central Florida. By the way, I put 428 in there, and it was last year. It was 2018. I didn't even have to search that far back, dude. Dude, it was the 1-year anniversary.
The only reason I would ever go to
So really
Florida.
quick, did the roommate live? Or did that guy
The
die?
roommate told investigators that he pulled a gun after getting angry about a cat hair. According to court documents, Toll fired in the direction of the roommate and said, "The next one's going to be you." So he just scared him.
You just
That's all.
That's
you
an
just did a
apartment
warning
pop.
shot?
Yeah. Next
Yeah.
one, it'll get your body.
I said shot at. I didn't say
Okay,
shot.
you
It
did
was
say shot at, yeah.
Whatever. Still over a cat hair. A single
So he
cat.
also jabbed him into the rib cage with the gun, causing minor cuts and bruises. He got pistol whipped in his ribs.
What a dick.
Oh, jabbed or whipped? That's a different.
No, you
You know
said
what, David?
jab.
He
So,
got jabbed, but I was saying he got pistol whipped with it.
you
Yeah,
like
no.
push him up against the wall. He's like, the next one's going to you.
So before we say goodnight, we have one more segment. This segment is the Speakeasy Meme Exchange. David, why don't you go ahead and explain the Speakeasy Meme Exchange?
Well, in honor of the Endgame, Avengers Endgame, opening weekend.
No. I just meant the Speakeasy Meme Exchange in general
Oh,
first,
whoops.
and then you can explain your memes.
Dude,
You want me to talk about it?
I got a lot of tables.
You have a lot
Where's that from? What's that from,
was
Josh?
that was a cable guy callback. Janine Garofalo. She's fucking great. So anyway.
So you mean to
we
tell me
have-
there wasn't utensils at medieval times, but there was Pepsi? Dude, I got a lot of tables.
Doth thee have a brew for thus? So, anyway, we have a meme exchange, and David and I, we need a judgment-free zone, a place where we could post up our memes without fear of judgment or being reported or going into Facebook jail, where Zuckerberg wants to put us.
3 times
So-
last year, all-time champ.
So we created this new meme exchange, which is, by the way, if you don't have thick skin, do not try to join it. But if you want to join it, link is at our page, Speakeasy Gentlemen. So anyway, we have a meme exchange, and David shared some memes this time. We try to pick the best ones that are not like super offensive. That's going to kick us off our platform. So
Yeah.
here's one for David. Go ahead. In light of Avengers Endgame, David.
So this one is obviously from Chappelle's show. It says, when you name your porn folder Endgame spoilers so your FBI agent doesn't click on it. And it's Dave Chappelle saying, modern problems require modern solutions.
I wouldn't fucking click on it.
I would so.
Let me
Right?
tell you. All right, here's another Endgame inspired one.
I really wanted to discuss this one with you guys. So there is a couple in the back sitting down having dinner.
Oh.
The couple in the foreground, the man is proposing to his girl. So in the background, the man is a furthest away, and then his girl that is looking, at the proposal says DC fans.
I need to go watch the
Post 2 is Marvel fans, and the guy doing the proposal.
forwarded. This.
As beautiful as
Give me-
my main question to you guys is like, let's just take away the context of this meme and look at the picture itself, right? How off would you for that guy that's not proposing to his girl? Because look at his face and then look at his girl's face.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking pissed.
Because now his girl's gonna get that idea in her head. Oh my God, why hasn't he?
Oh my God, why haven't you proposed? Oh my God.
Look how pissed he is, dude. He's like, dude, why the fuck?
This guy?
Yeah,
He's like,
look
you
at him, dude.
motherfucker.
Like, how mad would you be?
All of
I'm
us.
fucking pissed. I'd be like, dude, do that shit in private. Go to a fucking cemetery. Go take
Do that shit in pirate.
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 Oh man, yeah. If I would ever propose to a girl, it'd be at a graveyard or a cemetery, somewhere where there's nobody around.
There you go, cemetery.
It would be romantic.
Well, I mean, it would
There's
be
just thousands of people around.
It would be a dead
But they're just not living.
Those two anyway.
They're not living. There ain't no one around. I'm like, cool. Even if she
shit.
says no, I could be like, cool.
All right. Then you don't have to go far to bury her. After
Exactly.
you kill her for turning you down.
Real quick, look down at that ground. The hole there.
So
Just
we're
do a
talking
girl.
about David. We don't have to. We're like basically, he's gonna put it right back in the ground. He's been digging her up, posing, putting it right back.
Put it right back.
All right.
If you're not sure what the answer is, you kind of fucked up, in my opinion. Like, I was fucking sure it was yes. Like she was. So we'll backtrack. For 100% sure, she was anticipating a proposal for weeks and possibly months, and I made her wait because I'm like that. I'm cool like that. And finally, when I did like the fucking answer. She didn't even look at the ring. She was like, yes, oh yes, 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 and I was like, I did. Like I said,
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So I have another one for you guys right here. When you put on your friend's glasses and you're waiting for them to notice what a silly goose you are. I don't know why that one's so fucking funny to me.
Is it because I have glasses?
Maybe. I pictured you there, David.
Dude,
All right. What about this one?
I think it's just.
What about when your girlfriend slaps you but forgets she has only an A cup? Oh man. Look, we're not condoning domestic violence, but equal rights, equal fights. That's what I say.
But they're just being so relaxed.
Anyway.
You say equal rights.
Equal rights, equal fights. Here we go. One more. Ling Ling, why you get a B+? You not Asian, you Asian.
You ain't a Asian. You Asian.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. So all that and more offensive memes on our Speakeasy meme exchange. So
Follow us, or not really. But
find it. Yeah, David is the
Oh.
what is it called? You're the curator. It's not curator. What is it called?
Adam.
Admin. David's
He's
the
the
admin.
admin, yeah. The admin.
Yeah. So
if you guys want, I'm also part of a group called Shadow of Memes. I think they've got some pretty fucking dark humored memes where a lot of people have. It's funny. I've never seen this before, but a lot of people have 3 or 4 Facebook accounts so they could keep posting memes because they get banned.
damn.
That's
Send
right
me-
up David's alley.
Send me that link. I will join and I will steal shamelessly. I will.
Yeah.
Look.
So,
I will
that's the
I will
point.
like or laugh react to every single one that I share. Though.
That's the
I do
for
it.
sure. I'll see you right away.
Yeah.
dude,
All
people
right.
who have that
Anyway,
to make a different fucking accounts, they're like,
No, that's for real.
what am I doing with memes? What am I doing with memes? I don't deserve it.
let's talk about next week. We have Avery Sanders. Avery Sanders is a podcaster, and the podcast is called, get this, The Gaze of Our Lives.
Hey,
Fucking perfect name. So
Wait.
cool fucking name.
Gays as in the gays?
no,
Or
gays as in
gays.
GAYS.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, he meant hey.
two hot dogs in a hot dog bun.
Like
The
my
gaze of our
brother.
lives. Like my brother? Yeah, I don't know your brother, but sure. Yeah, your
Yeah.
brother seems cool.
Gay.
That's cool. One of the Scarfos is gay. That's nice, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm
Was he
more-
scarfing down? Anyway, so Avery, he chose our drink of the week, which will be David. You're gonna fucking love this, old fashioned.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, drink of the week is old fashioned.
Wait, do we make them with egg whites or no?
I don't know.
Probably
We'll have
not,
to.
David.
We'll clear that up. I don't think we make it with egg whites. So anyway, find us on Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, all at the Speakeasy Gentlemen. YouTube.com/Pajosh Studios. Find episodes for all, or audio for all episodes on iTunes and Podbean. Special thanks to Pierce, who I think is going to be here next week. If not, George, are you available next week?
Yep.
He gave me a tentative. He gave me a tentative yes, but if he's not on,
Pierce
then
hasn't been
we
here
need
for the
to
past couple weeks, dude.
we need to spin that wheel. But I think he's finally back, which means tech will be back to normal.
Yeah, sounds good.
But special thanks to the Speakeasy team: Pierce, Vader, Ricky, Richard, Alex Whiteley of the Thorskin podcast. Got to give you a shout out every single time. Love you, buddy. You and Shane and Tom, you guys are fucking great. If you guys haven't checked out the Thorskin podcast, we have links on our page. Those guys are fucking hilarious. And of course, you guys, George, David, and Scarfo, thank you so much for being on, man. Had a lot of fun with you.
Yeah, Scarfo, thanks for being on, dude.
Always good
I
time.
really, really appreciate it, and it's a long time I haven't finished a Mickey on a Sunday, so thank you guys for that.
Hold
It's
on.
the Lord's Day, so you're welcome.
That's called a Mickey out there, like a pint?
Yeah, we call this a Mickey.
Oh, all right.
All right.
All right, that sounds good.
Well, anyway, good night, everybody.